Welcome to Toy SOS, a series where I try to help others restore their broken vintage toys with the hope of bringing back some of those childhood memories.
Today at the restoration station, Dave is fighting a T-Rex.
Nope, still as dead as a dodo.
And Steve is finally reunited with his dino. But first, let's meet Steve.
Hi Steve, how you doing?
All good, thanks. How are you doing, Dave? You all right?
I'm good. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you popped by and dropped off one of your vintage toys for repair. Can you just describe what it was and what needed doing?
Yeah, it is a vintage Dino Rider T-Rex. So I picked this up about 2 years ago on bare bones, and throughout the years I've been sort of picking up bits to sort of complete it. But unfortunately, she just never walked or worked.
I just want to say thank you for trusting me to open her up and have a go at fixing, because these are not cheap, are they? These are like the Rolls Royce of the line.
Yeah.
While Dave starts to feel the pressure, please follow Steve on Instagram.
Let's get this T-Rex over to the restoration station to diagnose and fix. This T-Rex is nearing 35 years old now.
I'm millions of years old, you bumbling idiot.
Now Steve tells me whenever he tries this out, it's as dead as a dodo. Let's see if we're any luckier. We're not. If this was working, these legs will be swinging back and forward, replicating a walking motion. Inside each foot there's a wheel that rolls freely forward, which should lock in the reverse direction. But you can see that there's a rubber band around the wheel. I don't know if this is original. There are areas that stick out. The wheel gets locked in the foot. But I think with that click, that mouth is probably also broken. These screws are really rusty, so I'll clean those up as well.
The evil Rulons on Tyrannosaurus Rex attack.
I'll crush you, Gunner! Catch me first, Krulos!
The Dino Riders on their Torosaurus trick the evil Rulons into following them.
Hiding, Gunner! Over here, Frog Breath!
Kitten rockets shoot the brain box off.
He's free!
It looks pretty complicated, but actually I think it's quite simple. We've got the motor housed inside of this white casing. Either side there is a grey arm connected to each leg. As the arm rotates, the leg gets forced back and forward. This black arm that goes right into the neck of the T-Rex, which I assume moves up and down when the motor is engaged. You can see there's another arm connected to the mouth, and somehow, I'm not quite sure yet, those two arms should be connected. There is a bit of the body plastic here that's snapped. Fortunately, it's still there inside the body, just about hanging on by a thread. Let's just see if we've got any continuity between these battery terminals. Oh, that's a good sign. I'm fairly confident that all the wiring is good and we've got a complete circuit. The off-on switch, all it does is push the negative terminal in onto the battery, and the positive terminal is very loose indeed. There's not a very good contact between the battery and these terminals. Let's put the battery in. We can now see there's some resistance there.
Oh dear, I pooped. I'm so embarrassed.
These doors are always missing. They're incredibly expensive on the likes of eBay. I think a temporary solution is to use something like this felt plug between this motor casing and the terminal. It's a nice click. Turn it over. Yes! Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if any of these changes have made a difference at all. Nope. Still as dead as a dodo. Well, it seems that events have taken a slightly darker turn. Steve, if you're watching this right now, don't panic. Please don't panic. Oh, just over 1 volt. I'm not sure where the other half volt has gone. But that's enough to know that those wires are connected to the terminals correctly, which is fantastic. Because if they're broken at this end inside the tail, nothing I can do about it except crack open this body, and no one wants to do that. This is certainly a voyage of discovery. The motor casing doesn't completely open, but it's open enough to loosen the cogs inside. Therefore the motor for now doesn't have to do so much work. With some of this, well, look what I found inside the casing. I believe this tiny piece of plastic was jammed inside in amongst the cogs, meaning this whole thing was stuck. This huge T-Rex was taken down by this tiny piece of plastic. Let's connect the terminal to the battery and see what happens. Yes, we have a working motor. Ah, success. Right, I shall add some more cleaner to the motor, and I'll probably clean up those gears as well to make this as smooth as possible. Right, we're on our way.
Unaware that at the same moment the evil Emperor Krulos was plotting to capture the step crystal with his own grotesque Rulon forces. And so, the battle continues in a new place and time with Dino Riders.
We have another mechanical mystery, and it relates to this neck rod. So you'd think that the motor would be driving this back and forward motion. If you look at the pin on this neck rod, you can see it's as smooth as anything. It's not a cog, so there's no way that that motor can move this back and forward. As always, the solution is really simple, and in this case, it relies on the swinging action of the legs. The neck rod is positioned in just the right place, so as the leg swings, it pushes the neck rod back and forward. While we have the legs, I think I'll replace the perish tracks on these wheels. To get a nice join, I'm going to cut on the overlap. I can take the top layer away, pull away the bit that's been cut on the overlap, and then when I roll down this piece, we should have the perfect join. I'm pleased with that. We've got a nice new grippy tread on this wheel. If I just spin the wheel this way, it spins freely. But if I try and spin it the other way now, it locks. And that means as this leg walks on the surface, we're going to get a nice grip and it's going to propel itself forward. Awesome. Last thing I want to do tonight is glue this broken piece back onto the body shell, and then I can let it dry before I come back to this tomorrow.
Everything is now ready for reassembly. There are a few things to do on the way, and then it's ready to hand back to Steve.
No longer using this felt pad. Instead, I'm using this more solid rubber cube. You should just be able to see it sat between the gear casing and the battery terminal. We're no longer going to have a loose battery connection, which means these legs are going to have full power all of the time.
Are you ever going to fix my mouth?
I've been thinking about how the original designers solved this problem, and I came up with this idea. Yep, a rubber band. I don't think it's any more high-tech than that. I think that will do the job. So it turns out, after testing, the rubber band is not the fix for the mouth. It means I've got to take this casing out and refix it. After much faffing, finally got it. You want the neck rod in front of the mouthpiece there. So if you're fixing one of these, this is how it should look, and then you should be all good.
As the final touches are made, Steve is on his way.
What am I going to do?
Stop playing Jurassic Park music.
Right, I don't think we'll wait any longer, Steve. Let's reveal your T-Rex.
Yeah, there she is.
There she is. Now, thankfully, she's back in one piece. You didn't see the restoration. She was in a few pieces. But there were a few cosmetic issues. Just on the bodywork here, there was a piece that was broken off around the leg.
Oh,
So that's been
okay.
resolved now. And then there was some perished rubber around these wheels. I've replaced that as well, so now
Oh,
she should
brilliant.
walk really nicely. Should we see her in action? That was the whole point,
Definitely.
right?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to this.
Right, well, another fix is that when you put the battery in now, the battery is nice and secure so it doesn't fall out, which is always a good thing.
I need to get that cover. At one point, I will get that.
Yeah, those covers are hard to find, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right, let's switch her on and see what happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is so cool.
There we
Even
go.
the
So
mouth,
legs are
the jaw
working, and if
as
you
well,
notice,
love it. Oh, that is amazing.
the mouth is working as well.
Yeah. Again, that was the thing we talked about. I wasn't aware that should be open up and down, but that looks brilliant, mate.
Yeah, did some research just to see what the actual action should be, and yeah, the mouth opens there, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
So I can see, Steve, you're smiling there.
Yeah, definitely. It's brilliant. It's an amazing job. So I'm just thinking now, once I get that back, I've got the Triceratops, them two walking together. But yeah, can't wait to showcase that one. So yeah.
Yeah, it's an awesome line, and you've got me hooked as well, actually. So I'm now looking for Dino rides.
Yeah, it's contagious. It really is. I think it might be Christian who got me into Smuggler's Canyon, got me hooked on it, and yeah, and it's just snowballed.
I just want to thank you once again for coming on, for trusting me to restore your T-Rex, and for everybody else out there, I hope you've enjoyed this pilot episode of Toy SOS. Hopefully there'll be more in the future. There's only one thing to say: stay safe, everyone, and cheers.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
We don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't